Hey guys, today we'll be talking about photosynthesis. So what is photosynthesis? Photosynthesis is the process where plants convert sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide into oxygen and sugar energy. Okay, so here's a picture of photosynthesis. Okay, starting with sunlight. As you can see here, leaves absorb energy from the sun and take up carbon dioxide from the air. Carbon dioxide moves from the atmosphere to air spaces and diffuses across the wall, which is the chloroplast, into the stroma of the leaf. Oxygen is released into the air, and water is taken through the roots of the plants. This plant uses sugars to be able to grow. The sunlight gives energy to make sugars. Without photosynthesis, there would be a less survival rate for plants and organisms. So, where does photosynthesis happen? Photosynthesis takes place in the chloroplast. This is where the green chlorophyll can be found. The chloroplast contains sets of thylakoids, also known as the chief sites of photosynthesis. According to ScienceFact.net, there are at least 100 chloroplasts. Let's take a look in the chloroplast. This is the chloroplast. If you look close in the drawing, you can see stacked up chloroplasts or thylakoids. But when they're stacked up, this is known as granum. And on the outside of the chloroplast is known as the membrane. There are two stages to photosynthesis, the light-dependent reaction and the Calvin cycle. The light-dependent reaction happens inside the thylakoid, while the Calvin cycle happens in the stroma. And stroma is the dense fluid in the chloroplast. In the process of light-dependent reaction, light reaction is the component of where energy is converted into high chemical energy of NADPH and ATP molecules. ATP is also known as energy from the sun. In the process of light-dependent reactions, sunlight travels from the sun through the leaf and the chloroplast until it gets inside the thylakoid. One single of these is a thylakoid. Fun fact, as sunlight enters the chloroplast, water enters as well, and ATP splits hydrogen and oxygen apart, and that is when oxygen gets released. And once that oxygen is released from the light reactions process, NADPH and ATP leave the thylakoid. The Calvin cycle is the synthesis process in photosynthesis where ATP from the light reactions creates sugars from carbon dioxide. It uses the ATP and NADPH from the light reactions to create this. This is the process of the Calvin cycle in photosynthesis. It is the most complicated process. So, it is broken up into three phases: carbon fixation, reduction, and RUBP regeneration. In carbon fixation, carbon is taken from carbon dioxide and fixed into RUBP to produce glycerol. There are 6 carbon molecules that split into 3 carbon molecules. In the reduction phase, glycerol is converted to glyceride after accepting electrons from NADPH. A portion of ATP that was produced from carbon fixation is also used here. Each of these molecules provide the energy required for the reduction phase to take place. The diagram allows us to see that G3P is kept inside to be used as a building component for glucose, which is also sugars. RUBP regeneration occurs at the very end so that the cycle may begin after receiving fixed carbon from carbon dioxide, and ATP is used to bind the remaining G3P molecules, which eventually joins together with CO2. And that's the process of photosynthesis. Thank you for watching.